So lesson 31, 32, 33, 34, those four in a series, they're kind of clumped together. It culminates with, I could see peace instead of this. But so building up to that, we're going to do that right now. So lesson 31, I am not the victim of the world I see. I am not the victim of the world I see. It says, today's idea is the introduction to your declaration of release. Quietly watch your thoughts and now repeat today's idea to yourself as often as you care to. No rush, no hurry. Repeating to yourself, I am not the victim of the world I see. So randomly, I am not the victim of the world I see, as we are starting to associate this idea to all of our inner ramblings. In addition, it says, repeat the idea for today as often as possible during the day. As often as possible. That's not once or twice. That's a lot. Remind yourself that you are making a declaration of independence in the name of your own freedom. And in your freedom lies the freedom of the world. When we change our minds, the world changes. This is how we release the world, change the world. This idea is also particularly useful. It's a useful one to use as a response to any form of temptation that may arise. It is a declaration that you will not yield to it and put yourself in bondage. Okay, temptation, form of temptation. What it's referring to, it uses that frequently. Anything that happens that we use as an excuse to make us upset, or anything that we desire, or anything we resist, just about anything, is a form of temptation to try to, it's our ego to try to pull us off away from our true nature. We're perfect love, perfect light, and so any thought that tries to tempt us away, you're not actually that perfect, beautiful, eternal spirit, that's a form of temptation, to reach and attach ourselves to those thoughts. So anytime one of these thoughts come up, all day long at this point, right? I am not the victim of the world I see. Not a victim. I'm not a poor innocent, poor me, it's your fault. Back to that dynamic, we're trying to break that addiction. I'm not a victim. I'm the one agreeing to being a victim. So that's lesson 31. That's for one whole day. It says, do not do more than one lesson a day. Sorry, Jesus. We got to squeeze 4 in 1 because we only get once every 2 weeks. You chew and digest this for 2 weeks now. All right, moving on, the progression. A logical progression of that is now, I have invented the world I see. I have made up the world that I'm seeing. Again, there's 2 worlds. One's real, one is the one we have made up with our crooked, distorted ideas. So today we are continuing to develop the theme of cause and effect. You are not the victim of the world you see because you invented it. You can give it up just as easily as you made it up. You will see it or not see it as you wish. While you want it, you will see it. When you no longer want it, it will not be there for you to see. So it always starts back with a wish. What do we want? What do we want? Normally we want the other person to be the problem. Change the wish. Change the desire. The idea for today, like the preceding ones, applies to your inner worlds and outer worlds, which are actually the same. That's the link. However, since you see them as different, the practice periods for today will again include 2 phases. One involving the world that you see outside of you, and the other, the world you see in your mind. In today's exercises, try to introduce the thought that both are in your own imagination. Right? This is a huge stepping stone now. Both the external world and your imaginations are your own imagination. Whoa, this is deep. This is deep. Escape out of hell, out of the prison. This is the key here. Again, we will begin the practice periods for the morning and evening by repeating the idea for today 2 or 3 times while looking around at the world you see as outside yourself. Then close your eyes and look around your inner world. Try to treat them both as equally as possible. Repeat the idea for today unhurriedly as often as you wish as you watch the images your imagination presents to your awareness. And repeating just to yourself, no hurry, I have invented the world I see. Dropping seeds for now. If it doesn't make much sense, it's not supposed to, but it does more over time. It's subconscious planting the seeds. I have invented everything one at a time. So let's shift it inwards. You can close your eyes now, making no distinction between what we just saw and what's in our internal sight. Same. And just repeating as you see your thoughts. I have invented the world I see. In other words, I've made it up. This thing, whatever it is. Yeah, what just crystallized for me was, well, since I'm the one invented anything negative or a pain in my body, that's great, because then I can change it. I have all the power to change it now. There's no other force, no other anybody that's causing it. If I made it up, I'm free. This is what it says. Now I can change it and liberate myself. I have the key to change it.
So if you're the one that created it, you're the one that can uncreate it.
Yes.
Do it.
Yes.
Yeah. So you've got that power. You're not looking for someone else to come along to solve it.
Exactly.
Or to heal it.
Yes. Let's move on here. Lesson 33. There is another way of looking at the world. There is actually another way than the one we're so hardwired into. Today's idea is an attempt to recognize that you can shift your perception of the world in both its outer and inner aspects. This is the key. We can shift it. It is possible. Who even thought it's possible to recognize it is possible? Alternate between surveying, the outer world and the inner perceptions, but without an abrupt sense of shifting. So eyes open, eyes closed, eyes open, eyes closed, trying to generalize. It's the same. It's still just imaginings that we are making up. Merely glance casually around the room you perceive as outside yourself, then close your eyes and survey your inner thoughts with equal casualness. Try to remain equally uninvolved in both, and to maintain this detachment as you repeat the idea throughout the day. Let's just do that. So eyes alternating, open and close, with the intention that it's all the same. Repeating, there is another way of looking at the world. There is another way of looking at the world. Planting those new suggestions. You can make it specific. For example, there is another way of looking at this cup. There is another way of looking at this wall. So you can make it specific. Yeah, just getting so curious. Like there really is a totally different way of perceiving, because then that opens up this little crack possibility that light will stream through.
Oh, I just have to say that this one was incredible for me, because as soon as I really got into that, I could feel like the unseen energy, and it was growing, and I could feel everyone's like, and it was really, it was incredible. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah. So I just, the light, it was the light, it was the light, basically. It was the energy, it's the energy, yeah. Yeah.
You can feel everyone's light.
Yes, and then the more I felt that, the more I really listened to what we were repeating.
Yeah.
The more powerful I was feeling it. So that was really incredible.
Yeah, the light too. I had the light of the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, this is the training practice when things are calm, there's no upsetting traffic, there's no late urgent rushes. We're setting the ground for when things do get more hectic, we have this to fall back on. Oh yeah, I can see this driver cutting in front of me differently. There is actually peace emanating from everywhere. Which is the last lesson here for now. I could see peace instead of this. I could see peace instead of this next blank. The idea for today begins to describe the conditions that prevail in the other way of seeing. The conditions are that of peace in this new reality. Peace of mind is clearly an internal matter. Nothing to do with the outside. It must begin with your own thoughts and then extend outward. It is from your peace of mind that a peaceful perception of the world arises. All power is in us just by that perception shift, starting with what we want. We want that peace. That's the first decision. All application should be done with your eyes closed. It is your inner world to which the application of today's idea should be made. So some 5 minutes of mind searching are required for each of the longer practice periods. Search your mind for, I think we're too far into the light. Search your mind for fear thoughts, anxiety-provoking situations.
As soon as I walk out of the room.
Yeah, okay.
Then I come out.
Search your mind for, quote, offending personalities. You got to plan for when you go back to see offending personalities or events or anything else about you in which you are harboring unloving thoughts. Unloving thoughts. And note them all casually, repeating the idea for today slowly as you watch them arise in your mind. And let each one go to be replaced by the next. Bringing up that line, I could see peace instead of this. Let's do it. Close your eyes and now searching your mind, welcoming any fear thoughts, anything that is not perfect love qualifies. Gently repeating, I could see peace instead of this. All right, I could see peace instead of this. And so just after a couple of minutes on your own, allow yourself to deep dive, guide yourself into that peace and light.